Hi, and welcome to this tutorial to help you get the best out of Cetopo when working with Archicad. If you've used Cetopo before or watched any of our Getting Started videos, then you'll be familiar with projects and selecting an area. So we'll start here. Once you've selected an area, you can click on this cog next to the Archicad template under CAD. This brings us to the Template Configuration dialog, where we can have a look at some of the configuration options available, which are specific to the Archicad templates. For example, in the Terrain tab, you can choose if you want a Smart or Shape terrain. I'd recommend choosing Smart, as this will also include contours and make editing the model in Archicad a little bit easier. It can also be a good idea to change the colors of the building models before downloading. Here you can select the colors you want. If you want your model to also include 2D information, be sure to turn drawings on. If you're working in a region covered by Ordnance Survey, BGT or Datolleplan, you'll be able to import these as 2D lines along with your model. Once you're happy with how the template is configured, you can go ahead and click Download. The file will download as a CXF file, so you'll also need to download and install our free plugin to import this. To install the plugin, go to the Manage tab in Cetopo, navigate to the Plugin section, and download the plugin for the version of Archicad that you're using. Okay, now we're in Archicad, you can install the plugin from your Add-ins manager. Click here to add a new add-on and select the plugin you just installed. Then close this window and you'll see Cetopo in your top ribbon. Now, to import your model, go to the Cetopo menu and click on Import Cetopo Model. Next, find the CXF file you've just downloaded. Please note that you'll need to make sure you unzip the folder first, otherwise the file manager won't be able to see it. Now, you'll be presented with a few options when importing your model, and I'll run through them now. First, you'll see this dialog, which is asking about geolocation and project base points. By default, geolocation is on, but you can toggle it off if you wish by clicking here. By default, the plugin will suggest a project base point that sits on a grid, point to the bottom left of your model, and will ensure that the model runs smoothly. If you'd like to use a specific base point, you can easily overwrite it here. Finally, if you are working with an existing model, you'll have the option to merge the models and use the base point that is already in the model. Next, you'll see this dialog, which is asking how you'd like to bring in the trees. Essentially, you can choose here if you'd like to bring trees in as morphs or as objects. I'd recommend choosing one of the object options, as this will make your trees easier to edit down the line. Next, choose whether you want to group elements or not. And finally, you can choose whether you'd like to apply visual styles to your 2D drawings. If you choose yes, the plugin will automatically apply colors and patterns to roads, etc. in 2D. I'll select this here, and then you'll see how this looks. Okay, so this is your model in 2D. You can see that the styles we just mentioned have been applied, meaning that roads, pavements, bike lanes, etc. all have distinct colors. You can also see how your base point sits on this grid point. Let's have a look at the 3D now. The principle that applies here, and to all Cetopo models, is that the models are made up of elements native to the software you're working in. So, all elements of your model are editable. For example, these trees have been brought in as objects, meaning that you can easily replace them with a different type of tree. And the buildings are morphs, so they can be individually moved, edited, and deleted. Roads, paths, and pavements come in on separate layers, so you can easily toggle them on and off. This also means you can easily edit the model, adding curb height, etc., like so. Terrain is a mesh, and thanks to the contour lines created by Cetopo, you can easily pull these up and down to edit the terrain. Finally, when you download a model from Cetopo, you'll see this metadata file. This shows you where all of our information is sourced and how up-to-date this is. If you're working in the UK, you'll also see your OS license number here. That's everything you need to know to get started with Archicad and Cetopo. I hope this has been helpful. See you later.